So how can you use your phone as a webcam for your live streams? So in this stream, we're going to talk about how you can actually take your video quality up a notch by using your phone as your main webcam, as your main camera for your live streams that you're going out there and doing for all of your live videos. I'm really excited about this topic. So if you are looking to take your streams, your camera quality up an extra notch and look a little more professional, look a little more highly produced, then this is going to be the stream for you. So I'm very excited to be diving into this topic. And of course, along the way, I'm going to answer any of your questions. So be sure to put those in the comments if you have any questions about this topic. Also, I want to encourage you, I would love to know what questions do you currently have about live streaming, and then let me know what your current live streaming setup is. I would love to know what your current live streaming setup is. We can kind of talk about it. Are you going just from a phone? Are you going just from your laptop and your built-in webcam, or are you doing this in some other way where you're bringing in your phone as a webcam or the DSLR as a webcam? Let me know in the comments what your current live streaming setup is. I'm excited to kind of see that and talk to some of you about what that is. But I just want to welcome you to this show. My name is Nick Polkowski, and here on the show, it's a weekly show where we talk all about live video production, and we're going to cover things like tech. We're going to cover a lot of tech and camera gear and lights and things like that. We're also going to talk about some tips and techniques on how you can have the best quality for your live video production. And of course, we're going to cover a few strategies along the way and answer any of the questions that you have. So be sure to engage and leave those in the comments below. Let me know what questions you might have. But this stream is brought to you every single week by BeLive. So I just want to encourage you to go check them out if you haven't already. BeLive is a great resource. So go be sure to check that out. Hey, Future Nick here. So wanted to let you know that this is actually a condensed version of the show we do with BeLive. I'm reposting the replays on my channel and taking out all of the listener questions. So if you want to get your questions answered or interact with me and just interact with the live stream, be sure to subscribe to BeLive's channel or check out their Facebook page. We're live every single week on those pages, in those spots. And I'll always be posting the replays here, minus any listener questions and an engagement like that. This week we did have a slight technical difficulty, so you'll notice there is one listener question that helps me bring back the point that was missed because of that technical difficulty. Now, back to the video. And without any further ado, let's talk a little bit about why you might want to be going live using your camera's phone versus the built-in phone on your webcam. Really, the main reason is just the way the quality of your video is going to improve. So just to give you a quick, this is going to be a little bit of it's going to give you a little bit of an idea of some of the quality differences of the cameras. Let's look at this right here. So this is right here. This is the webcam built into my MacBook Pro. It is not the M1 Mac, but it's one of the newer Macs. It's the newer generation of the MacBook Pro. And this is the camera quality. And while this is not necessarily a phone, and this is a DSLR camera, but you can still see the drastic improvement. You're going to notice that, and I'll be able to show you here along the way just to give you an idea. So you can even see some of the quality differences on Facebook where things are getting downgraded to 720. But especially if you're using anything in high definition, you're going to just see the massive difference in quality that you're going to have. So we're going to be talking about how you can actually go about doing that here on this stream. Now, there are several different things you can do to improve that camera quality, so you don't have to kind of be all fuzzy and look a little like you're in the fog or somebody who's smudged your camera. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. 3 different ways that you can actually connect your phone and go live streaming from your phone, besides just going directly to Facebook or anything like that and going live on that app. The first one I want to talk about is going to be slightly different than some of the others, but I think it's a very important one to talk about, is actually the BeLive Mobile App. I think this is a great way to kind of get started and to start going live and improve the quality of your camera. So I want to do just a quick demo here for you to kind of show you what this is going to look like for those of you who are wondering. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump into and show you what the BeLive app looks like. We won't stay here too long because I don't want to, we might get a little bit of audio feedback here, but you can kind of see this is what the BeLive mobile app looks like. And let's jump it around here. And so this is what you're going to kind of look like in terms of video quality if you're talking directly to the BeLive mobile app. So the video quality, this is the front-facing camera, which is still an improvement over the other one. Obviously, the lighting is not quite set, so you're going to notice it's a little red. It's a little more adjusted for my actual camera. I didn't have time to go through and set everything up exactly right based off all of these because we're going to be switching through a few different demos rather quickly. But as you can see, in terms of camera quality, it's really good. Yeah, you're going to see, again, see a little bit of redness, but kind of ignore that. That's just because of the way some of the other things are set up. Now, this is the front-facing camera, but if you are able to, if you're only, and what I like about the BeLive mobile app, I just want to mention this, is that you can go ahead and tap that little icon down at the bottom and bring in a guest. So you're still able to invite a guest. You're still able to view all the comments here. When you're going front-facing, you can see time. You can see how many people are watching right now. But you're also going to be able to, if it's just you, I would recommend actually setting your camera up here on a tripod, flipping it around to the back-facing camera, and going with this kind of quality here, because the back-facing cameras are going to be the best quality for your live stream. So you're going to able to have really high-quality camera right here. And again, ignore the redness. I know that's there as because of some of the ways we have some of this stuff set up. Okay, I think we're back and running. Sorry about that, everyone. Let's back up here. It looks like, yay, okay. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for letting me know. And definitely, thank you. Appreciate you guys for letting me know that we were a little frozen there. All right, let's jump back in. I'm gonna actually, I don't remember exactly where we were when we started getting some of those issues. So let's jump back to the top of this section. I know we've covered a lot of it. I'm going to quickly run through those apps, just kind of remind people in case they missed it. If you have questions, be sure to let me know in the comments. Let me know. I'm definitely watching. Everything's back to normal. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me know. Looks like we're good on all platforms now again. So let's run through what we've talked about before, and I'm going to jump into that third way to get your phone as your live streaming camera in just a second. So first one is the BeLive mobile app. This is going to be a great way if you don't want to use your computer at all. Still give you some functionality with BeLive. And one thing I didn't mention actually in this section I remembered is that if you have a second device, you're going to be able to still use the back camera on your phone, especially if you're not bringing in a guest. So that's one thing that I do like about having the BeLive apps. You can still switch it to that back camera. You can then set that up on a tripod, have it set up really nice, and you're still going to be able to use, if you're able to monitor comments in some sort of way with a second device, you will be able to really have a high quality stream without needing that extra computer or having to connect through the computer that way. And I do have a full video on how to manage comments. It kind of dives into all different ways of managing comments, no matter how you kind of have things set up. You can find that video on my YouTube channel. Second one we want to talk about is Epoch Cam. This is probably the way I would recommend most people get started, especially if you have like an iPhone. I think they also work with Android, I believe. And then all you need to do is I'd recommend paying for the Pro version just because it gives you a couple extra features, removes the watermark. But this is going to be a great way, whether you're live streaming or you want to use your phone as a video camera in Teams meetings or in Zoom calls or things like that. Really great way to kind of add that extra quality there. And then that brings us to our last one, which is to go ahead and use a capture card and the app Filmic Pro. Now, this is where I'm going to jump back in. So sorry if you heard some of this already. But what do I mean by a capture card? What is a capture card? So a capture card is a device that is either built into a PC desktop or can be external and connected to a laptop. But basically, it's a little device that takes an HDMI output from somewhere, from your phone, from in this instance, or from another computer, or from a DSLR camera, and it turns that output into an input for your streaming computer. So Magewell makes some of my favorite ones. If you're looking for just a single one, this one is specifically for SDI, but they do make HDMI ones as well. Really great company when it comes to capture cards. Highly recommend them. Elgato also makes another capture card that is really great quality as well. Or something like, especially if you know you're going to be continuing to increase the production quality of your live stream, you might want to look into something like the ATEM Mini Pro. That is a device I have here. We'll show it in just a second, but it has 4 different inputs, allows you to switch through those 4 different HDMI inputs in order to see what's on the screen, in order to bring that in and give you a little bit more of a nice dynamic feel. Now, once you get the HDMI capture card, the next thing you're going to need in order to make this work is an app like Filmic Pro. I really like Filmic Pro, but specifically you need an app that allows for clean HDMI output. So you notice in all of our other demonstrations, I had it connected the exact same way I do right now. And you're notice in all of those, the settings were on the screen. That's because they had what's basically called the dirty HDMI output. A clean one is going to look exactly, here, let's flip it around, use the back camera. A clean one is going to look like this. So no settings, nothing like that is on the screen. It just allows for you that clean output. And again, the lighting and stuff is not set up exactly right. I would probably do it slightly different. Let's try and get a little more of an idea of what kind of quality. But the reason I really like Filmic is because it allows you so much manual adjustments. I can adjust the focus. I can adjust exposure. I can adjust that dependent of itself. You can change the ISO. You can change, just gives you tons and tons of manual control over the cameras, especially when you're using the back cameras on one of the newer iPhones where you have, you just have so much quality that you can bring in your smartphone device that you likely are carrying around with you. Anyways, I actually use this setup. Turn the lights back on. I actually use this setup quite a bit for client productions or for other live streams that I'm doing. I'll use oftentimes the capture card and the Filmic Pro app as an additional input. So it's additional resource, additional camera angle. I will bring it on a slider quite often to give that an extra little dynamic feel, and then you can switch to that and have a more dynamic shot. There's lots of things we can talk about for bringing in those second cameras. We can jump down that rabbit hole at any point if somebody wants, just let me know. But the reason I like kind of this route of using a capture card and then Filmic is because it's going to generally be a little more stable connection. You're not worrying about wireless. You're directly connected. Even some of the other wired ones can potentially have some issues. I've really never had an issue with a direct capture card like this. It's very rare that you're going to have any sort of issue. So it's a little more stable. It also just gives you tons of manual control. And especially if you are using multiple different inputs, it's going to give you a lot of extra control over those different inputs to bring those in, to change those around, and to really make those work for you exactly the way you want. So that kind of runs through a lot of the big reasons I like that runs through the main three ways you can actually go about and bringing your phone camera into your live stream and use that as your main live stream camera. There's other ways out there. These are the ones I would recommend. These are the ones I would look at. First, jumping into BeLive, their mobile app. That's going to give you a great quality and give you some dynamic experience and still allow you to bring on guests and do that all from just your phone and not even need to worry about the computer or add the computer complexity there at all. You lose a little bit of the functionality of BeLive on the computer version, but not much, so that you lose some of the overlays and a few things, but still recommend going that route. The second one is Epoch Cam. That's the one I would recommend most people get started. If you're just looking to get started with this, go with Epoch. And make sure I would recommend going with the Pro version just because it's going to be a little higher quality. And then if you really think you're going to be diving in and wanting to do more higher quality productions, maybe eventually get a DSLR or something like that and really increase the camera quality there, then that's where I would recommend going and getting a capture card. You can find some cheaper ones out there if you just want to test it out. But I always recommend investing in some of this hardware. I know it can be a little bit of a hit to the pocketbook, but it is what I would recommend going with. And I did want to show, before I forgot, I want to show here quickly what the ATEM. So this is an example of the ATEM. I know I showed it last week, but I just wanted to dive in again and show you what the ATEM looks like right there. And it allows me to switch. So if I hit 4, that's going to jump here to this camera. 3 happens to be this webcam. If you want to see the behind the scenes of BeLive, there you go. That's kind of the infinite screen. But that's what it allows you to do, is really switch through different inputs. And there's several other functionalities. I can do a full video on the ATEM at some point if you are interested. I probably will do one of those over at my channel. So be sure to check that out if you really want to. Do that. And you can find my channel. Let's just throw that out there. You can find my channel right here, nickpolkowski.com/YouTube. All right, let's jump in and answer a few questions. I see I got a few coming in. Nick was just saying, sorry, missed, what was the second tip? We missed Epoch. Okay, so hopefully you heard the Epoch Cam kind of ran through some of that. I'm not sure if we got cut out, but I'm going to jump back in and just quickly show you Epoch Cam, just because, again, I don't know if that got cut out or not from the stream, but let's make sure we have that. So Epoch Cam is an app and a camera, and it is an app from Elgato, which is a really great company. They make things like Stream Deck, make all kinds of lights, really cool things like that. And what it's going to allow you to do is to connect either wirelessly or wired to your computer. And this is going to be basically you're creating an extra webcam here. It's kind of a virtual camera using your iPhone. It will work with Android as well, I believe. And let's check out what kind of the behind the scenes of that looks like. So here is the behind the scenes showing you the back camera. So you can see it's a little, and if you missed before, it is a little red because of the way things were set up for my camera. So I didn't quite balance everything correctly. But you're going to see it's a little red, but you can see the camera quality is actually really high. And you're able to see here all the different settings. Like I can zoom in because I'm on an iPhone. We have the 2x, we have the half, we have the 1, and then I'm able to pinch and zoom. You're also able to, you could use your phone as your microphone, and you have the ability to mute there, or you can spin it around and use the front-facing camera there. You can even mirror things like that. But I do have a full video on Epoch Cam on my YouTube channel if you really want to dive into all the other settings that it has and everything else there. So hopefully, Nick, hopefully that answers your questions. And I don't see any more coming in. So be sure to, so thank you for tuning in on that. Let me know if you have any more questions. Happy to dive into some of those. But really, I wanted to mention that one of the things you need to remember is to use proper framing with your cameras. That's one of the reasons adding this external camera, adding your iPhone as a camera is going to help improve the quality, is because it's going to allow you that flexibility to get some proper framing. You know, even as we're doing some of that demonstrations, you notice things are all kind of all over the place. I'm shaking. It's not looking as good as it could, because you want to have proper framing, proper lighting, things like that. Those are going to really help improve that video quality as well. So be sure to be thinking about some of those other reasons. And that's one of the biggest reasons that you're going to have, because you're able to do some of that more manual and get that really dialed in. That's one of the big reasons that even if camera qualities on your laptop, your built-in one, and your phone are exactly the same, you're still likely to get a more higher quality video from your phone, is because you're going to be able to frame it right. You're going to be able to add that tripod. You're going to be able to get it in the correct positions and just really improve the camera quality that way. And you can check out last week's episode for a little bit more breakdown of some of the other gear. So things like tripods, things like lights, things like microphones, that all plays a huge part in the quality of your live streams. So be sure to check out that episode in order to to learn a little bit more about some of those. And it gives you kind of a nice overview of what to think about and what to consider. And I also want to mention that just be willing to go live. That's kind of the biggest thing. I said it last week. I'm going to say it in probably every single video, is if you're getting overwhelmed by some of this talk, some of this tech stuff, some of these things I'm talking about, set that all aside for now. biggest thing for me is I want you to start going live, because it's only by going live that you're going to get comfortable with some of those. You're going to get comfortable with just the whole process and the whole flow of everything. So be sure to just go live, whether it's on your computer, whether it's on your phone, and cut out all the other distractions and just get used to talking to that camera, talking to your audience, and starting to know what it feels like to be live. And then you can slowly add some of that complexity as you go. You can start adding lower thirds. You can start improving the camera quality, the audio quality. Take those things one step at a time. Just be willing to go live. That's the biggest takeaway I want to leave you here with every single week, is just get started. So if you're interested in learning more about live video production and some of the simple things you can do to improve the quality of your live videos, I want to recommend that you go check out my newsletter, actually, and you can find that at nickpolkowski.com. Right there, you can sign up for my monthly newsletter, and there you're going to be able to, you're going to get tips and tricks on, even more tips and tricks on how to improve the quality of your live streams and your live video production. I'm also going to offer some extra little deals. It's a monthly newsletter, so be sure to go check that out if you're interested in learning more. And don't forget to tune in next week. We're going to be talking about your streaming routine and how you can go about optimizing it, how you can make it smoother, make it a little bit easier, and make sure that you have some kind of set practices in order to help improve your streaming quality and take some of that stress and nervousness off of you when it comes to going live. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, be sure to like the page, be sure to follow and get all the notifications, and tune in next week. Thank you, and I will see you all soon.